Imagine a regular morning. The alarm rings at 7 a.m. You are 35 years old. You barely open your eyes in your designer bedroom. You walk into the kitchen, brew specialty coffee in an expensive espresso machine, and open your laptop. You have a prestigious college degree, maybe even a master's. You hold an executive position, or you're a top-tier IT specialist. Your salary puts you in the top 10% nationwide. Your former classmates think you drew the winning lottery ticket. But when you log into your banking app, you see a truth that makes your stomach drop. You have 0 assets. Your brokerage account is a joke. But you do have a 30-year mortgage on a house in an upscale suburb, an auto loan for a premium car, and a credit card that you pay off with every paycheck, just to max it out again before the next one. You stare at the screen and think, I'm smart. I solve incredibly complex problems at work. I read smart books. Why is the guy from my hometown, who barely graduated high school and started a roofing or landscaping business, already building his second house and buying commercial real estate, while I'm counting the days until payday? The answer will shatter your ego. Your intellect is not your advantage. In the game called Capital, your high IQ is your biggest weakness. You are simply too smart to be rich. Today we are going to perform an autopsy on your wallet. I will show you how your own brain is leading you by the nose. We will break down the traps that only intellectuals fall into, and why the system absolutely loves the smart and broke. The first and most destructive mistake smart people make is their genius-level capacity for rationalization. If a foolish person buys an expensive phone, they do it simply because they wanted it. If a smart person buys an $80,000 car on credit, they will build an entire philosophical foundation underneath it. Your brain whispers, I work 12 hours a day. I carry the entire department on my back. My nervous system is at its limit. I earned this comfort. This car isn't a luxury. It's an investment in my emotional well-being and safety. And this vacation to Hawaii will save me from burnout. Hear how beautiful that sounds? You are using your outstanding intellect to justify buying absolute financial garbage. The higher your IQ, the more complex and logical the lie you can sell yourself. As a result, your income grows, but you immediately convert every extra cent into a stress reward. You are just moving into a more comfortable cell in the W-2 prison. Remember, the market doesn't care how tired you are. Math doesn't hand out bonuses for burnout. Your money should be buying your freedom, not consolation prizes for your slavery. The second trap is overconfidence. Smart people love playing chess with banks, thinking they are grandmasters. You read about inflation and Fed rates and decide, I'll take out a loan and put my free cash into circulation. It's free leverage. Credit cards with a grace period are free money from the bank. I'll farm them for miles and cash back. Sounds like a Wall Street master plan. But in reality, you just start living beyond your means. You take on a mortgage at the absolute limit of your capacity because real estate always goes up, completely ignoring the reality that rent is the maximum amount you will pay for housing this month, whereas a mortgage payment is just the minimum. You drape yourself in installment plans. You think you control the situation because you have an Excel spreadsheet. But the system is smarter. It knows you are only human. One economic downturn, one round of corporate layoffs, one unexpected medical bill, and the house of cards of your smart debt collapses. You pay penalties, insane credit card APRs, and feed the bank. While you try to outsmart the system for pennies, earning miles, the system devours your main asset, your peace of mind and focus. A foolish person fears debt and lives within their means. A smart person takes on good debt and becomes a hostage to their own scheme. The third reason why smart people sit without capital is overthinking the stock market. It seems to you that if a solution is simple, it must be for idiots. You can't just buy an S&P 500 index fund every month. That's too boring. That's for hamsters. You spend weeks reading financial reports, analyzing PE multiples, drawing charts, reading analyst forecasts, and trying to short the market because the bubble is about to burst. You trade options, looking for the perfect entry point. You waste hundreds of hours of your valuable time. Meanwhile, a guy who understands nothing about macroeconomics just blindly, like a dumb robot, throws 20% of his paycheck into broad indexes or his 401k every single month. And you know what? Over a 10-year distance, this dumb robot beats 90% of smart guys like you. Because investing is not an IQ test. It's a test of discipline and patience. Your intelligence makes you fuss and make mistakes, paying broker commissions. Wealth is boring. If you are having fun investing, it means you are losing money. The fourth mistake is a toxic environment. Smart people usually work with other smart and highly paid people. Top executives, Silicon Valley engineers, corporate lawyers. You form your own bubble. Inside this bubble, the baseline shifts. It becomes inappropriate to show up to a meeting in a used Toyota. It becomes normal to drop $3,000 a month on a private daycare because we want the best for our kids. It's normal to spend $40 to $50 every day on organic business lunches. You don't want to be the black sheep among your successful colleagues. Your ego demands conformity, and you start participating in this unspoken arms race. You burn your massive income simply to meet the expectations of people who, by and large, couldn't care less about you. They are in debt themselves just to throw dust in your eyes. You are all collectively participating in a mutual pact of financial idiocy, calling it status. The fifth fatal mistake. Smart people confuse salary with wealth. You look at your $15,000, $20,000, or $30,000 a month and feel invincible. You think, even if I spend it all this month, a new check is coming in a couple of weeks. I can afford it. But a high salary is not wealth. It's just a flow of water passing through a pipe. If the pipe has holes, all the water drains into the sand. Wealth is what is left in the reservoir after the valve is shut off. What happens if tomorrow AI learns to write your code? What happens if your company is bought by a competitor and the entire management team is fired? What happens if you burn out and physically cannot get out of bed? Your high salary will turn to zero in 1 second, but your fixed expenses for a luxury life will remain. A high income without a safety net is like driving a Porsche at 150 miles per hour, blindfolded. Sooner or later, you'll hit a wall. So, what's the verdict? Your sharp mind is an excellent tool for digging up ore, but it is absolutely useless for building capital out of it if it's being driven by your ego. If you want to stop being a broke intellectual, you will have to do the hardest thing possible. Admit that when it comes to money, you act like a fool, and start applying rules that your ego will find primitive. First, protect your money from your own intellect. Automate your investment transfers on payday. Make it so you physically cannot spend that money. Remove your brain from the decision-making process. Second, fall in love with boredom. Index funds, bonds, real estate. No complex schemes, no speculations. Become a financial robot. Third, get off the needle of social approval. If someone calls you broke for walking around with a 3-year-old phone, smile, because your brokerage account will soon be worth more than their entire life on credit. You can keep considering yourself the smartest person in the room while paying off yet another credit card bill. Or you can shut your ego up today, sit down with a spreadsheet, and start cutting chunks out of your lifestyle in favor of real assets. The system needs smart operators. It needs brilliant engineers and creative directors who will work until they are 65 because they have to pay the mortgage on their penthouse. Don't be a genius cog in the machine. Be the one who buys their own freedom. Stop trying to be smart. It's time to get rich. Trench dog out. End of transmission.